Okay, so again, just to recap real quick, when we're dealing with Aaron, when we go into Exodus chapter 7, verse 7, there's a misunderstanding that a priest has to be a certain age, can't be over a certain age. There's a misunderstanding that you have to be, you can be from any family of Israelites if you want to be a priest, and that's not true. When we go into Exodus chapter 28, all right, verse 1, it says, "And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar." So Aaron's sons. So Aaron was set up as a priest before the Most High after the Exodus. So this is Exodus chapter 28, verse 1. Okay. Now, if we go back to Exodus chapter 7, verse 7, we see the beginning of everything. "And thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, and he shall send the children of Israel out of his land." So here we see the children of Israel are going to come out of the land of Egypt with Aaron and with Moses. So let's go into verse 7. Okay. This is Exodus chapter 7, verse 7. And it says, "And Moses was 80 old, and Aaron 83 old, when they spake unto Pharaoh." So 80 means 4 and 20. A score is 20. So 80 is 80 and 3 years old. So Aaron was 83 years old. And we've already seen from Exodus 28, which is going into the future, that the Most High said that he was going to make Aaron a priest before him. Aaron, that he may minister unto me in the priest office. So Aaron, yes, was made a priest. And when Aaron was made a priest, he was beyond 83 years old. Okay. So now the lineage of Aaron was based upon his father, but Aaron was made a priest when he was 83 plus years old. I say 83 plus, I mean, he was 83, maybe some weeks, maybe some months, who knows. But he was 83, he was over 83 years old when he became a priest. So when people say you can't be a priest when you're over 50, that's a misunderstanding of the scriptures that comes from not reading Numbers chapter 4 and Numbers chapter 8 thoroughly. Because in those scriptures, it tells you specific offices and duties inside of the temple and the tabernacle weren't supposed to be done under physical manual labor over the age of 50 years old. So the Most High allowed you to retire from that manual labor, but you still had to serve the people and help the brothers that were doing that job at the temple and at the tabernacle. It had nothing to do whatsoever with you teaching the law, with you serving the people in terms of a priest office, okay, officiating ceremonies, teaching the law, teaching the statutes and the judgments and the commandments. You still were working in that job, all right? Shalom Lakah, successor's journey. You were still working as an elder in that office. I mean, as a Levite, as a priest in that office, all right? So there was no age limit. That's what Aaron shows us in Exodus chapter 7, verse 7, and in Exodus chapter 28, verse 1. There was no age limit to be in the office of a priest, because when Aaron got inducted into his office, you understand, Aaron was 83 years old. He was 83 years old. You understand? He was 83. So that's the job that he was chosen to do when he was an old man. But when he became the priest, he wasn't helping them set everything up. He wasn't out there with those big pillars and carrying things and all of that. That's the younger guys did that were under 50. They did that. When you became 50, you stopped doing the manual labor. And then you would help your brothers, the priests, do things that they needed to have done, but you wouldn't do that heavy lifting and heavy labor anymore. To get the understanding, you have to read Numbers chapter 4 and Numbers chapter 8. Okay, so now let's go. What was the job of these priests, no matter what their age was? So let's go into the book of Deuteronomy, and we're going to read verse Deuteronomy chapter 33. Okay, and we're going to read verse let's read verse 10. So Deuteronomy 33, verse 10. And here's what it says. Read it carefully. And they shall teach Jacob thy judgments, and Israel thy law. They shall put incense before thee, and whole burnt sacrifice upon thine altar. So it tells you that Levi, in general, which includes the sons of Aaron, are supposed to be teaching the law. All right, verse 9, verse 8. And of Levi, he said, let thy Thummim and Urim be with thy Holy One. All right, so the Thummim and Urim, which are sacred instruments that were used to communicate with the priest from Yahweh. So here we see that the priest had special instruments, but that the Levites in general had what? The duty to teach the judgments and the law to Israel. So no matter what age they were, they had to teach the laws and the judgments as a Levite to the children of Israel. Okay, so that's where we are right now. All right, so now that's what we're talking about. Let's go into the book of Ezra, because we're talking about the lineage. So now we're going to go into the book of Ezra. And again, we're talking about the lineage of the children of Israel. Okay, and when we're talking about the lineage of the children of Israel, of course, we have to talk about how did they determine themselves to be the priests. So let's go into Ezra chapter 2. And this is the situation. If you have a mother and your mother was a Gentile and she was not a believer, she had not converted to the Torah. She was like Ruth. Ruth converted into the Torah and started keeping the Torah. When we go into the book of Numbers, chapter 31, Eleazar the high priest received Midianite women as his property. And he made it have babies with them, which was, he was allowed to do. All right. Some of these women, right? Yeah, unless he was the high priest. All right, unless he was the high priest. All right, but some of these women, could have been given to other Levites and other priests that weren't the high priest, and they could have children with them. But these were Gentile women. When we went to war, we could take the Gentile women and they had to convert to the Torah. So we had Gentile wives in ancient Israel. So there's nothing, I'm not saying your mother's a Gentile, so you're off. You can never be a servant of the Most High. You can never be a Levite. You can never be an Israelite. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is very, very specific. And I'm talking about exactly what the script is talking about. So let's look at Ezra, all right? I don't know why I went to Ezra chapter 2. Let's go to Ezra chapter 7, all right? And as we go to Ezra chapter 7, let me go to it again. Let's go to Ezra. And I want to go to chapter, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Yeah, let's stay here, chapter 2. And let me go all the way down to verses 61 through 63. Let's read this together. This is Ezra chapter 2, verse 61. And again, this is coming from the Septuagint, which is the Greek version of the Old Testament, which is older than the Masoretic Hebrew text. This text goes back to about 250 BC. and was translated under the authority of a Greek king whose name was Philadelphus Ptolemy, and he translated the Bible. The priest translated it for him. Israelites translated it for him from the Hebrew into the Greek around 250 BC. Okay, so let's read what happened. Now, this is in the time of Ezra coming out of the Babylonian captivity. So let's see what happened when they had these Israelites who claimed to be priests, and let's see the scrutiny that they put them under. Okay, let's see the scrutiny that they put them under. Okay, and the sons, give me 1 second, Yashadallah. Give me a second. Let me see if I could try to put this on real quick to let me see if I could share, bring this link alive. Okay. Give me a second, Yashadallah. Sorry for the delay. Sorry. Again, Yashadallah. Right, so these guys said, you know what, we're priests. And they came up and said, you know what, we're priests, man. We're the priests of the Most High. I'm the priest. That's what the guys were saying when we check out this book of Ezra. All right. These guys said, yeah, man, I'm the priest, man. All right, I'm the priest. So you got to listen to what I'm saying to do, man. You got to listen to me. I'm the priest. So let's see what Ezra and them, what scrutiny Ezra and them put these guys under. I've always told you Levites, man, you can't just be running around saying that you're the priest of the Most High. You're a Levite, maybe. I'll give you that. But for you to say you're a priest of the Most High, under the family of Aaron is a whole different situation. All right. Now, this is Ezra chapter 2, verse 62. Let's read it. And the sons of the priests, sons of Habiah, sons of Cause, sons of Barzillai, who took from the daughters of Barzillai the Gileadite a wife, and was called by their record. Records meaning the family record that they had about who was who, what's your lineage, who's your father. Ezra 2, verse 63. And Tirshatha spoke to them. I'm sorry, let me go to verse 62. I almost skipped over it. These are they which sought their record, the ones seeking descent, and they did not find it. Meaning what? They couldn't find their records going back to the family of Aaron. And what happened? And they were thrust out from the priesthood. So the Most High said, you can't prove you come from the family of Aaron. We're going to kick your behind out of the priesthood. All right? Let's go up here. All right, let's go up here. This is the Kahana. Man means from. Hakahana deals with the priesthood. All right, so let me try to get the I want to pull up these the Hebrew on here so you can also see what it's saying yourself. All right. Now you don't gotta just take somebody's word for it. Okay. So yeah, we should be able to pull up this verse vocabulary on here. All right, we'll do that we'll try to get that some other time. All right. So anyway, all right, verse 62. It says, these are they which sought their record, the one seeking descent, and they did not find it. So they couldn't find out who their ancestors were. All right. They couldn't prove who they were. They couldn't prove that Aaron was their father, in other words. And what happened to them? And they were thrust out from the priesthood. So they were kicked out of the priesthood. They couldn't be priests anymore. They were kicked out, man. All right, they were kicked out. So if you're calling yourself a priest after the family of Aaron, and you see when we was in captivity and we came out, they couldn't prove that they were from Aaron's family. And they got kicked out from being a priest. Let's go into verse 63. And Tishatha, right? Let's highlight this. Oh, I don't want to highlight, huh? All right, so let's get that. Let's highlight that. And Tishatha spoke to them to not eat from the holy of the holies until, we're going to see this, he should rise up a priest with the lights and perfection. Meaning what? The Thummim and the Urim. The Thummim and the Urim. All right, right here. La awadiam wa la tamyam. All right, so the Thummim and the Urim. They had to rise up with the Thummim and the Urim. Why? Because there was no way for them to prove that they were the priest of the Most High. The lights in lights is Urim, all right, which is a Warium right here. And the perfections is the Tamyam or the Thummim. And we see that right here. Thummim, all right, Thummim. So they said, man, we got to go into the spirit. From clear signs, not even a sign, but clear answers through the holy instruments of the priesthood to prove to us what is your lineage. So that's something I'm saying has to be done because that's what Ezra and them did. And you ain't no better than Ezra and them. We less than Ezra and them. We below Ezra and them. They way above us. Why? Because they returned to the land and they tried to serve the Most High under the Torah, under a righteous government. So for you to come and say you're the priest now, or you are a priest, and you can't prove your descent. Where's the records of your descent? Not of a Levite, but of an Aaronite. See, we know the Levites were supposed to go under different curses, and we know that the Haitians fit those curses. But the family of Aaron, we don't know what the curses are that they were supposed to go under, except for the ones we know about Levi. So any Levite could be a child of Aaron, but we don't know. You see, we don't know. So you can't just hop into this office and say, well, I'm a priest. You can't do that. That's out of order. That ain't decent. Okay? That ain't decent. Okay? Now where I want to go to is we're going to stay in the book of Ezra, and we're going to bring out another point from the book of Ezra. Okay? We're going to go to the book of Ezra chapter 7, and we're going to read verse 6 and 10. Okay? So where are we now? We're in the book of Ezra, and we're going to read verse 6, and we're going to read verse 10. So Ezra chapter 6 says what? And Ezra ascended from out of Babylon, and he, a scribe, was quick in the law of Moses, which gave Yahweh Alahiah of Israel, and gave to him the king. And from the hand of Yahweh, his Alahiah was upon him in all things which he saw. So Ezra was what? Ezra was nice with the law. So when the scripture says in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 10, that they're supposed to teach the law, here's Ezra teaching the law of Moses. Which what? See, now another brother trying to say the law of Moses and the law of man is two different laws. What does this say? It says the law of Moses, which Yahweh gave. That's what it says. Okay? That's what it says. Okay? That's what it says. So now let me see if we can get some of this right here. All right. So it says Hawa, and he, Isaiah, Elah, went up. It says Ma Babal from Babylon. Wa and he, Sapar. He was a scribe. Mahayar, quick scribe. Ba Tawarath. And the law, Masha, the law of Moses, Asherah, which, who gave it? The law, it says, Ba Tawarath. So it says the law of Masha, of Moses, which, Asherah, Nathan, which gave who? Yahweh. You see that? Yahweh gave the law of Moses. Alahaya, the Yahweh, the power, Yashar Allah, the power of Yasha Allah. Wayatan, and he gave Lawa, and he gave to him Hamalak, the king. So anyway, here we see right here, okay, that quick, it says Batawada. So he was quick right here in the law of Moses, which gave Yahweh power, chosen of Israel. So Yahweh, the power of Israel, gave the law to Moses. But Ezra was a what? Ezra was a sapar, meaning a scribe, or he was a book. Ezra himself was like a book of the law. Let's say it like that. He could write it, he could recite it, he could explain it. All right. It says Wahawa'a, and he, sapar, or scribe, or a book, sapara, Mahayar, quick, a quick scribe, meaning he was what? Ezra was sharp. Ba Tawara. He was a scribe that was sharp in the law of what? Of Moses. Which law of Moses? Oh, the law which Asherah, which gave, which Nathan, Yahweh, the law which gave Yahweh, Alahaya, the power, Yasharallah, the power of Israel. So here in Ezra, all right, chapter 6 and 7, we see that the law of Moses is the same thing as the law of Yahweh. Same thing. But the law of Yah is the same thing as the law of Moses. And I don't know about y'all, but this excites me. Why does it excite me? This excites me because there's so many brothers lying on Moses, saying that he came up with his own law and that the law of the Most High and the law of Moses are different. They're saying, oh, these are different, but the scriptures say that they're the same. All right. So that's only verse 6 to show you that if you're going to call yourself a Levite priest, you need to be a scribe in the law. And a lot of these brothers out here saying that they priest, chief priest, high priest, low priest, don't even deal with any type of books of the law to become noted for the law. They're busy making breakdowns or doing battles or doing debates, but they're not focusing on the law of Moses, meaning Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy should be among one of the strongest assets that a Levite has. All right, that the Levite should have if he wants to claim himself to be a priest. So now let's go to verse 10. For Ezra prepared his heart. For Ezra prepared his heart to seek the law of Yahweh and to do and teach in Israel the orders and judgments. Okay. Everybody see that, right? Now look what it said up here. It says Kaya for Izara, Ezra, HaKahan. Ezra the what? The priest. La Babwa, to his heart or in his heart. So Ezra in his heart, La Darash. Darash means to seek. That's where they get midrash from. Madarash, that which is sought. So Ezra in his heart to seek. He had already decided to seek. What was he going to seek? To seek toward what? Thawadath. No, he's going to seek toward a Gentile to debate. He's going to seek toward a new breakdown about Paul in the New Testament. He's going to seek toward what? He's going to seek toward saying that put all the old priests out of business, right? No, Ezra was seeking the law of who? Of Yahweh. To do what? La Ishath. To do. Isha. To do what? Wa la lamad. And to teach ba yasharala. Chak, meaning statutes, wa mashapat, and judgments. All right, so let me come back on here now. All right, so I mean, you can just see how beautiful the word of the Most High is, man. So you see a lot of these guys that are talking about their priest and they're over this person. They're not priests of the Most High, because Ezra tells us what are the characteristics, and we see the qualifications that it needs to be a priest. All right, that it needs to be a priest that is going to be teaching the law, and his heart went to search the law and to teach the law. That's what Ezra's passion was, man. Ezra's passion was to teach the law, to search the law, not to be trying to debate with everybody. Ezra's passion as a priest coming out of captivity in Babylon, his passion wasn't to debate with everybody about any topic. Ezra said, the law, I'm going to nail you. I'm going to support in this, meaning what? I'm a book when it comes to the law. So these are the attributes of the leaders of the Levites, of the sons of Aaron, of Yasharallah. That's the clear biblical description, you understand, of what we were supposed to be doing, of how the Levites were getting down. Not just the Levites, but the Levites, the priests. Not just the Levites, you understand, the priests, but the Levites, the priests that were the leaders, that considered themselves to be the top leaders of the nation. They were seeking the law so that they could teach the law. You understand? They were seeking the law so that they could teach the law. Okay? So that's what Ezra and them were doing. That's what Ezra was noted for inside of the scriptures. So he wasn't just going around doing his own thing and saying, well, I'm Ezra, so I'm going to depose. Ezra showed with what? He showed with knowledge. He showed to the children of Israel, to the Banya Yasha Allah. He showed them what? He showed them proper leadership. All right. He showed them proper examples. He showed them how they were supposed to conduct themselves to deal with these Israelites that were coming out of captivity, that were coming out of the children of Israel being oppressed and being brought under subjection to a Gentile nation. All right. That's what Ezra was about. That's what Ezra did. You understand? So when Ezra was doing this, Ezra was noted among the children of Israel. He was noted among the children of Israel for this skill that he had. All right. So for this skill he had, he brought us into a higher level of understanding and showed us, hey, you're supposed to be keeping this holy day like this. Let me teach everybody the law. See, a lot of the spirit of teaching the law requires the spirit of wisdom. And a lot of brothers don't have that, so they get distracted into other topics because they can't hang with what the Most High have set up. Okay? But this is the order that we see Ezra himself demonstrating and yielding to us, that if you're going to be a priest, you got to teach the law. You got to seek the laws and the statutes and the judgments, and you got to walk in it, man. That's what Ezra is saying. You got to walk in this thing. And as you walking in it, you got to be sharp with it. You got to be quick with it. I mean, nobody can oppose, stand against you when it comes to that Torah. All right, so that's what the Most High is showing us. So now let's go back into the book of, let's say we're going to go to Ezra again. Went to Ezra 7, Ezra 2. Now let's go into Nehemiah. Nehemiah is going to repeat to you what we already read in Ezra chapter 2, that they got to wait for this priest to come. And that's what we're waiting on now. You see, this prophet or priest to rise up that's going to show everybody what job they're supposed to be doing. All right. So let's go into the book of Nehemiah. All right. Let's go into the book of let's go into Nehemiah, and we're going to go into chapter 7, verses 63 to 65, if you with me, all the way down. Nehemiah chapter 7, verse 63. Again, let's see what these guys did. These sought the record of their own group. All right. They were searching for the record of their family. All right. When they say group, they were looking for who their lineage was. Okay. Who their lineage was. All right. Because they were searching. Okay. They were searching. Okay. And it was not found. They couldn't find their records. And they were thrust out of the priesthood. So they kicked them out of the priesthood because they couldn't find in the records who they were. Now, I'm not saying that you Levites, you Haitians, aren't Levites. What I'm saying is that the priesthood is so tight that this is where the Most High is showing you got to go the extra mile to prove that you are from the family of Aaron. So nobody was disputing the fact that they were Levites. They were saying you got to prove that you are from Aaron's family to hold this post as a Levite priest. You see? So let's read it again. And it says, Arthasasta said to them, right? Arthasasta, okay? Arthasasta said to them that they should not eat from the Holy of Holies until there should rise up a priest to the lights and the perfection. Meaning what? A priest who was worthy to put on that Thummim and Urim, that breastplate, and the Most High would start to speak through him. So ain't none of these Levites the one that the Most High is waiting on as the sons of Aaron, because they're not given no divine oracles or thorough understanding of the Torah with the spirit of the Most High backing them up. See, that's how we know if you're from the sons of Aaron. All right? Because you're going to rise up. This is what they're waiting on. They're waiting for Arthasasta words to be fulfilled. For a Levite to rise up that can deal with that Thummim and Urim. I mean, the Most High going to be talking directly to him with provable proof that he's talking to him. Not just, I had a dream about something last night, and that's what the Most High wants us to do. But look, ask a question. Whoop, whoop. See the left and the right stones on the breastplate. It lit up. You see, it lit up. And that shows that the Most High was dealing with these Levites. You understand? He was dealing with these Levites. So that's what we're waiting on. So these guys could not prove their lineage. So what happened to them? They got kicked off of the job, man. They got kicked off. They couldn't show that they were from the family of Aaron, so they got kicked off the job. And when they got kicked off the job, that's what it was. Nobody told them they can't call themselves no Levite no more. Nobody said you can't teach the law no more. They said, bro, you cannot eat of the sacrifices, period. You cannot do the priest jobs, man. So let's go to Ezra 10:34. Ezra chapter 10, verse 34. All right. I'm not going to go on. I'm not going to read that one. I don't even know if that's the one I wanted. Just to keep it a buck with you. All right. Ezra 10, verse 34. Nope. Ezra 10 ain't really got nothing jumping off. Maybe it was Ezra 10, verse 3 and 4. Okay. Ezra 10, verse 3. Now, when we listen to this, listen what they said. This is Ezra chapter 10, verse 3. And now we should ordain a covenant with our Alahayim. Right here is Alahayim to lead out all the wives and the ones being born from them. I say Kal Nasham wa ha nawalad maham. So all the children born of these strange women, according to the counsel of who? Of Yahweh, and the ones trembling in the commandments of our Alahayim, and according to the law, let it be. Rise up, for concerns you the matter, and we are with you. Strengthen and do. So they set to the side the wives and the children that were born of these what? These strange Gentile women. What does he say right here? Read that. And answered one Shechaniah, son of Jehiel, from the sons of Elam, and said to Ezra, we broke contract with our Alahayim and settled with wives alien. See that? Wives alien. Everybody see that? With alien wives. And the people from the people of the land. And now there is hope in Israel for this thing. Meaning what? Now we're going to settle the score. We're going to make it right. So this included the Levites. So when the Levites was amongst the people that had taken wives, taken Gentile women, they stopped dealing with those women and their children. Those that knew their pedigree. The ones that didn't know their pedigree, and maybe we don't know their marital situation, but if they didn't know their pedigree as a Levite, they could not occupy that seat of a Levite. It was impossible. So they couldn't occupy that seat as a priest, okay, from Aharon. They couldn't be a Kahan Aharon, a priest of Aaron. And that was the only priest that the Levites had. Wasn't no priest, I'm a priest from this tribe, I'm a priest from this family of Aaron. No, it was this family of Levi. It was only the family of Aaron. And I'm talking about somebody using their Levite status to claim the fame that they are some special kind of priest. No, you're not. Because we see you got to prove it. And when you didn't prove it, you got thrust from the priesthood, man. So any of you Levites out there saying you a priest of Aaron and you can't prove it, and you claiming the priesthood, and you claiming some type of superiority in the priesthood, man, Ezra and them would have thrust you behind out of office, man. That's why I say a lot of these Israelites now are some suckers, man, because y'all scared to do what our forefathers did. And I've been telling you Levites a long time, stop calling yourself priest. You can't call yourself a priest of the family of Levi. and expect some type of special privileges or special type of recognition. That ain't what we see in the scripture. You had to prove that you were a priest. You did not have to prove you were a Levite. So call yourself a Levite, that's good enough. We still want the Levites doing the prayers. We still want the Levites leading the Sabbath services. We still want the Levites to be anointing us because we don't know where Aaron is. So all the functions that you're doing as a Levite, these are the functions that other Israelites can do also. But we would rather you to do it because we know that you are a Levite, and Levite is as close as we can get. Levi is as close as we can get to the family of Aaron right now. Now, if you want to get close, perhaps they say that the Limba in Southern Africa may be related to the Aaronites, priests in the Torah, in the scriptures from ancient Israel. That's one of the options. But even with that, we can't say for sure unless they got some type of genealogy records. See, they might got the records over there hidden from us to say that we are the family of Aaron. We don't know. But I know you brothers in the Eastern that came into the Western Hemisphere, you ain't got those records. And if your father was a Levite that married a Gentile in captivity, what happened in the book of Ezra? Those people was automatically excluded from any of the offices pertaining to the priesthood. Even if their fathers were priests, they was excluded because the children that were born of them was left with their mothers. And they didn't want to bring that lineage back into the land of Israel to work as the priest. They couldn't do the job of the priest. Okay, so now one of the last verses we're going to go to is I'm going to go into Nehemiah. Okay, I'm going to Nehemiah. Actually, you know what? No, we don't want to go into Nehemiah. We got to go into the Apocrypha. Let's go to First Ezra. I like that one. First Ezra. First Ezra. Hope they open up the Bible that it came into. I got to go into the. So we finished with the Aleppo, Samaritan English, polyglot, Samaritan Pentateuch, Dead Sea Scrolls. Finished with that. All right, so let's go into Apocrypha. King James with the Apocrypha. All right. Go to First Ezra. And we're gonna go to chapter 5. All right. First Ezra chapter 5, verse 39 and 40. That's First Ezra. Let's do this. 1 ESDRAS 5. Okay, First Ezra 5, 39 and 40. Well, they're saying First Ezra 5 ain't available. That can't be right, can it, y'all? Let's go to KJVA. All right, sorry y'all for the mix-up right here. Let's go on to we want that King James up with the Apocrypha. If not, we can go into the Jerusalem Bible or this is the one we're supposed to have right here. KJVA with the Apocrypha. Okay. Let's go on to Second Ezra. It ain't coming up, y'all. Neither is first Esdras. So let me actually see if we got second Esdras coming up in any of these books. Let's see. Second. The second Esdras coming up. Let's see if it'll come up in any book. I don't see it come up nowhere. So that's what we got to do. Let's go into first Esdras. We want chapter 5. We want from the King James. All right. Let's go to King James Bible Online. Let me switch this over for you. Close this out. So let's go into the second Esdras chapter 5 again, verse 39 and 40. Second Esdras first Esdras chapter 5, verse 39 and 40. Okay. All right, so let's share this right here real quick, y'all. Share Chrome. Bam. Okay. So second Esdras chapter 5, and we're gonna read verse 39 and 40 real quick. Okay. So let's go ahead and knock that out. Second Esdras 39 and 40. Okay. It say, and when the description of the kindred of these men was sought in the register, what's the register? That's the records of your family. All right. And was not found, they were removed from executing the office of the priesthood. You see that? So let's go back in here real quick. So it says that when the people could not prove that they were the priests, they were removed from the priesthood. So you got to get out from the priesthood. If you're saying you're a Levite and you're saying you're a family of Aaron, and you can't prove you come from Aaron's family of the priest, you cannot be a priest. Period. Period. When you go into Numbers chapter 28, Aaron and his sons were set up, and then they were anointed to be the priest. Period. You can't get around this. And this was the standard when it was in Babylon, coming out, going back into the land of Yasharallah or Israel. That was the standard. But now you want to try to do something differently. And Ezra was serving the nation. These guys ain't really serving the nation, man. So these are just, these scriptures give you clearly how the Most High want things done. So if you don't have no registry, you're not a priest. If your mother was a Gentile that wasn't in covenant with the Most High, you're not a priest. Can't be a priest. If you can't show your lineage, you can't be a priest. If you don't teach the law, you can't teach the law, and that's not the main thing that you see the Most High telling you to do. You can't be a priest. Why do I say that? You got to see that as the main thing that the Most High wants you to be doing. Well, when you go into Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 10, it tells you and it shows you. Deuteronomy, and we almost finished here. Chapter 33, right? And we're going to go to verse, we'll read 8, 9, and 10. All right. Deuteronomy 33. All right. So who's Moses blessed the children of Israel? 8, 9, and 10. All right. See it right here? And of Levi, he said, right? Take that back again. And of Levi, he said, let thy Thummim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massah, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah. So the Levites, that's what we're going to focus. He's talking to the Levites about the Levites, who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children. For they have observed, meaning guarded and protected thy word and kept thy covenant. So Levi had to go through the crowd and kill the Israelites that was against the Most High. It was worshiping false gods. Levi went through and killed them. So these Levites, and these ones that stand up for righteousness, and these ones that's only worried about observing his word and keeping his covenant, they shall teach Jacob thy judgments and Israel thy law. He got Moses, the top Levite over all the Levites, saying that Levi, this is your job, to teach these laws to people, man, to teach these statutes. That's what he's saying. Okay, that's clearly and indisputably what Moses is saying about the children of Israel. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to do what our father, our great leader and prophet Moses said to do. You don't want to do that. You want to do something your own way. You want to try to establish, you want to try to follow in the footsteps of other guys and what they did, imitating what somebody else did. What Levite is standing up saying, I am going to keep the charge of the Lord, Yahweh. I am going to focus on the laws, statutes, and commandments so that Israel can repent. I'm going to keep the charge that was given to me in Deuteronomy chapter 33. They shall teach Jacob thy judgments. They observed the word and they kept the covenant. That's what Levi's supposed to be doing. But a lot of you Levites is focused on other stuff. You want to just be a part of a camp or camp leader or join the camp or see how much people you can get up under you or pushing and selling stuff or trying to increase and boost up, subscribers and followers and Patreons and all that, man. But it ain't got nothing to do with you teaching the laws and judgments of the Most High to all of Israel, man. To all of Israel. You're not supposed to be tied down to just, I belong to this camp or that camp. Nah, Levi's supposed to be national because they're supposed to be teaching the whole nation the laws. But y'all don't want to do it. So men like me got to do your job for you as a Levite because you too busy trying to do what everybody else is trying to do. I'm going to build a camp. I'm going to build a congregation. I'm going to build a school. But you ain't building no Torah school. You ain't building no Torah yeshiva. You ain't even building no Beit Sefer Torah. No Bayat Sapar Torah. No Torah school. Ain't doing that. You're doing everybody, just another camp, just another camp member. And you're a member of a camp, and that's it. You got no focus on the nation. You got no desire to sit down and learn the Hebrew, to learn the Torah, even to study aspects of the Mishnah, even to study aspects of the Gemara. You don't want to do that. But that's what you're supposed to be doing. All right, so with that, I'm going to say shalom. And we have the list of people that can't be priests. If you can't prove your pedigree, you can't be priest. If you can prove your pedigree and your mother was a Gentile that wasn't in covenant with the Most High, you can't be a priest. So if you fit into any one of those categories, you can't be a priest. And no Levite that I know from no camp, from any camp in Israel, any community, nobody can do those things to show that they are the priest. And the scriptures say that we have to have a priest come that can operate with the Urim and Thummim, and for them to show us through the Spirit of the Most High, Bashem HaMashiach, Yahawashi. Who are the Levites if we don't have the records? And if you don't got the record, you don't got the proof, then you can't say that you're the one that's supposed to be doing the job of the Levites, brothers and sisters. Mainly talking to you brothers, man. So get off it, man. You seek to exalt yourself, man. The Most High gonna bring you down low. That's a promise that he made. That's a promise that he made. All right, so that's it. We're done. There's a lot more scriptures on this topic that we can bring out. So we're not gonna sit here and argue with people that say stuff and they don't want no smoke from us, man. Because this is the new Mashara Yasha Allah, man. We ain't sitting back watching and listening. We reacting and being proactive to cut that back on a lot of the foolishness and a lot of nonsense that's going on in Israel. All right, and Malachi Maccabee, we coming for you. We coming for you, man. We've been talking to you in the private chat groups. You ain't responding. Your people's in St. Louis is calling you out. Over 30-something brothers looking for you, and they say you hiding from them, and they say they got a warrant for you, and you've seen the messages in the private chat group, and you've responded to me, but you ain't responded to your own peoples in your own city, who you taught, who you brought into the truth and nourishment. You ain't responded to them. So you got to stop teaching them lies that we can't eat meat, man. That only the devil would come against the doctrine that the Bible speaks about. So you got to be being used by the devil talking about we can't eat no meats. And the other brother, only reason we ain't saying your name about this whole priesthood stuff is that you ain't said nothing inside the group yet. You ain't said nothing inside the group, and can't nobody get a hold of you one-on-one to talk to you about the lies that you're teaching about the priesthood. You see? But when we talk to you and we give you the opportunity to explain what you're talking about, and if it's BS, we're going to go on a public record against what you're talking about too, like we just read, but like we just did, but we ain't pull your name out of there. Anybody said your name? Because we ain't had no formal conversations with you about that stuff that you're teaching right yet. But Malachi Maccabees, we already talked to you personally and inside the group, and you just all the way backed up. You backed up all the way out to Proverbs 27 group. All you do is post your little videos now about your whack teaching, but you don't say nothing against brothers that's calling you out from your city, bro. And that's cowardice, man. That's cowardice. So anyway, now we got to understand about the priesthood and about the priest, and this is only one of a series of lessons. Believe me, we got more scriptures about being a Levite and what it means, and being a Aaronite, being a priest, and what it means. And then we're going to do an understanding. We're going to read the whole chapter, Yahweh willing, of Numbers chapter 4 and Numbers chapter 8. All right, Numbers chapter 4 and Numbers chapter 8 about what it means when you come to the age of 50. And it don't mean what a lot of brothers are deceitfully trying to make it mean to suit their own personal agenda for advancement and promotion that they are giving themselves, man. It's pathetic, man. Y'all brothers is that thirsty. The age of, read Numbers chapter 4 and Numbers chapter 8, and you'll get the right understanding, man. It's clear, it's crystal clear, and it's in black and white letters. You know, it's in black and white letters. You can read the English words. There's nothing difficult there. No big fancy, hard to pronounce words that describe what it means when you're 50 years old and you're a Levite. What is your job now? You do got a job. You see, but it ain't the job that you used to have. All right, so yeah, Yasharallah, I mean, that's it. Okay, that's it. I thank you all for your time, and may Yahweh be with you in the name of Yahweh Shi Hamashiach. Shalom to come.